Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever been working with your AI assistant and just thought, man, this is really just a fancy chatbot? You're definitely not alone. Well, today, we're going to look past that and explore something way more powerful, AI super agents. And we'll be using this really cool open source platform called DeerFlow to get a glimpse into what the future of AI help actually looks like.
So let's start right there. Really think about it. Is the AI you use today an assistant? Does it remember what you talked about last week? Can you give it a big, complicated project that might take, say, an hour to finish? Or does it just kind of get lost after a couple of questions? Yeah, those limitations are exactly what super agents are built to solve.
And this chart, right here, it shows the difference perfectly. It's like night and day. Over on one side, you've got your standard chatbot. It forgets everything. It can really only do one simple thing at a time, and its toolbox is pretty limited. But then you look at the super agent. It's got long-term memory. It can juggle a bunch of complex tasks. It can learn new skills. And this is the real kicker. It has its own digital workspace to actually get the job done.
Okay, so what exactly makes a super agent so super? To really get it, let's zoom in on our main example today, DeerFlow. See, it's not just another app. It's a whole system, something called a super agent harness.
A harness, think of it like a general contractor on a big construction project, right? The contractor isn't hammering in every single nail themselves. Nope. They're managing a whole team of specialists, plumbers, electricians, you name it. They give them the right tools, make sure they know the plan, and provide a dedicated work site, the sandbox, to get a big, complicated job done over time. That's pretty much the big idea behind DeerFlow.
And you know, the backstory here is actually pretty cool. DeerFlow didn't start out this way. It began as a super specialized tool just for doing deep academic-style research. But then the community got their hands on it and started using it for everything. Building data pipelines, generating entire slide decks, you name it. This huge, unexpected demand is what pushed the developers to basically rebuild it from the ground up, turning a niche tool into the powerhouse general-purpose platform that it is today. All right, so let's pop the hood and see what's really going on inside. How in the world does DeerFlow manage all this complexity? We're about to break down the technical guts of this thing that make it so much more capable than any AI you've probably used before.
Now, it might seem complicated from the outside, but it really all boils down to 5 key parts. If you can wrap your head around these 5 building blocks, you'll totally understand where DeerFlow gets its real power. So let's walk through each one. First up, we've got skills and tools. Think of a skill as a super detailed instruction manual for a specific job, like how to conduct market research. DeerFlow has a bunch of these built in, but the great part is you can add your own. And what's really clever here is that it only loads the skills it needs for the task at hand. This keeps its working memory, what's called the context window, super lean and efficient.
Next up, subagents. This is where that whole general contractor idea we talked about really comes to life. Let's say you give DeerFlow a massive research project. The main lead agent can look at the job, break it down, and then create, or spawn, a dozen smaller sub-agents. Maybe one starts crawling websites, while another analyzes a bunch of PDFs. They all work at the same time in parallel, and then report their findings back. This is how DeerFlow can just chew through jobs that take hours, not just a few seconds.
Now this right here, is a total game changer, the sandbox. It's essentially a private, secure, digital workspace with its own real file system. So the agent isn't just spitting out text, it's literally writing code, creating and editing files, and running commands inside a safe container. This is the huge difference between an AI that just talks about doing work and one that actually does it.
So you might be wondering, how does it not get totally lost or confused during a 2-hour task? Well, that's where something called context engineering comes in. As those subagents finish up their little jobs, DeerFlow summarizes what they found and saves all the detailed results to its file system. This keeps its active working memory, that context window again, clean and focused only on what's next. By offloading all those details, it never gets overloaded, and more importantly, it never forgets the main goal.
And finally, we have long-term memory. This is huge. Unlike pretty much every other AI tool out there that has amnesia and starts fresh every time you talk to it, DeerFlow actually remembers you. It starts to learn your preferences, your writing style, and the workflows you use most often. And because all of this memory is stored locally on your machine, it's completely private and under your control. The agent just gets smarter and more tailored to you the more you use it.
Okay, so that's the how. We've looked at the 5 core pieces that make DeerFlow tick. Now let's get to the really fun part, the what. What can you actually do with all this power? Let's dive into some real-world examples.
First off, you can use it as a seriously powerful research operator. You can just point it at a topic, maybe upload a few source files to get it started, and then just let it go. It'll use its skills to scour the web, send out its subagents to investigate different angles, and then pull all that information together into a polished final report or even a PowerPoint deck. And you can take that even further and build a complete content production engine. The research phase just becomes the first step in a whole pipeline. From there, it can draft an article, then generate a video script, then create a slide deck from its own findings, and it can even generate images to go with your marketing content. It's like a full-stack content creator in a box. Now, for all the technical folks out there, it can be an absolutely incredible developer sidecar. You can talk to it right from your terminal or hook it into your own Python scripts. This means you can call on its powerful research and file handling abilities without ever having to break your focus and leave your coding environment. And because it can plug into messaging apps like Slack or Telegram, you could even deploy it as an internal team assistant. Imagine your team being able to just assign it research tasks, ask it to draft up internal docs, or use it as an ops helper, all from the same shared chat channel you're already using every single day.
Okay, I know, this all sounds incredibly powerful. But here's the million-dollar question. Should you use it? Let's quickly run through a little guide to help you decide if DeerFlow is actually the right tool for what you need.
First things first, getting it set up. Now, even though it's a serious piece of software, the setup is actually pretty straightforward if you're comfortable with Docker. You basically clone the project from GitHub, run a couple of commands to get it configured, pop in your AI model's API key, and launch it. It's definitely more involved than just downloading an app, but the process is very well documented.
So here's the bottom line. DeerFlow is for you if you want a really powerful self-hosted platform where you are in complete control. If you're excited about the idea of orchestrating complex workflows and adding your own custom skills, then yeah, it's a perfect match. But if you're just looking for a simple, zero-setup app with a really slick, polished user interface, this probably isn't the tool for you right now.
This quote from the developers really sums it all up perfectly. Using DeerFlow is much more like setting up your own agent platform than it is just installing a simple app. It's a piece of infrastructure. And with that comes a ton more power, but also a bit more responsibility.
And all of this brings us to one final really big question. As platforms like DeerFlow get better and easier to use, are we looking at the future of how complex work actually gets done? It really feels like we're on the edge of a major change, moving away from simple little chatbots and towards having true digital collaborators. It's a pretty exciting future to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.